welcome back to Building Better English Communication Skills. Lucy, my beautiful co-host, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully, thank you. Always excited to dive into a new topic with you.
Me too. And today's topic is all about using everyday objects to explore new vocabulary and practice English communication skills.
Exactly. We call it Me in 3 Objects, and it's a really fun way to express yourself and learn new words.
I love it. And for those of you just joining us, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives like this one. We've also got some great resources in the description and comments, so be sure to check those out.
Now, Brian, before we jump into the activities, let's quickly explain what Me in 3 Objects is all about.
Okay, sounds good. So what's the big idea here, Lucy?
Well, it's all about using 3 everyday objects to represent yourself and then explaining why you chose them. It's a simple concept, but it can be really powerful.
I see. So kind of like a show and tell for adults.
Exactly. Except instead of just showing the objects, we'll be focusing on the language we use to describe them and explain their significance.
Got it. So we're going to be learning new vocabulary words, practicing our speaking skills, and maybe even discovering a little bit more about ourselves along the way.
Precisely. We'll be focusing on 3 main activities today: building vocabulary, reading aloud, and completing the missing objects and reasons.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's get started.
All right. For our first activity, building vocabulary, we'll be meeting 4 different people: Julio, Sasha, Brady, and Jordan. Each of them has chosen 3 objects that represent who they are, and we'll be learning some key vocabulary words related to their choices.
Sounds like a great way to learn new words in context. So tell me more about Julio. What are his 3 objects, and what vocabulary words can we learn from him?
Well, Julio's first object is a photo of his cat, Figaro. He chose this object because of Figaro's friendly face.
Okay, friendly face. What does that mean exactly?
A friendly face is someone or something that makes you feel happy and comfortable, like a warm and welcoming presence.
Like when you see a friend you haven't seen in a while. Or, in Julio's case, when he comes home to his cat after a long day.
Exactly. Julio even says, "Coming home to a friendly face like my cat's always makes my day better." What about you, Brian? Who or what is a friendly face for you?
That's a good question. I'd say my dog, Charlie. He's always so excited to see me no matter what kind of day I've had.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay, let's move on to Julio's second object. He chose spicy food.
Spicy food. Now, you know I'm not a big fan of spicy food, but I'm curious to hear why Julio chose it.
Well, for Julio, spicy food is more than just a taste preference. It's deeply connected to his cultural heritage. He's from Mexico, and he loves the bold flavors of Mexican cuisine.
I see. So, for our listeners who might not be familiar with this term, how would you define spicy food?
Spicy food refers to dishes that have a strong, hot flavor, usually from chili peppers or other spices.
Ah, I get it. So it's not just about the heat, it's about the flavor as well. And Julio specifically chose this object because...
Because he loves spicy food, especially Mexican dishes like tacos with salsa. He says, "Mexican food is my favorite because I love spicy food, like tacos with salsa."
Sounds delicious. Okay, what about Julio's third object?
His third object is movie tickets, and he chose them for 2 reasons: get together and degree in film studies.
Okay, get together. What does that mean in this context?
In this case, get together means to meet up with friends and spend time together. It's all about socializing and having fun.
Ah, I get it. So Julio loves going to the movies with his friends. And what about the degree in film studies part?
That means Julio is studying movies in college. He wants to be a movie director someday.
Wow, that's impressive. And it sounds like he's really passionate about film.
He is, and his job at the movie theater allows him to learn something new every day.
Okay, so we've all heard the phrase learn something new, but what does it actually mean in English?
It means to gain new knowledge or skills, to expand your understanding of the world around you.
I like that. It's about constantly growing and challenging yourself. Okay, Lucy, are you ready to move on to our next Me in 3 Objects participant?
Absolutely. Let's meet Sasha.
All right, Sasha, tell us about yourself. What 3 objects did you choose?
Sasha's first object is her laptop. She says it's an extension of her mind.
Extension of her mind. Now, that's an interesting way to put it. What does she mean by that?
It means something that feels like a part of you because you use it so often. Think of it like a tool that helps you think, create, and connect with the world.
I see. So, for Sasha, her laptop is more than just a device. It's an essential part of who she is.
Exactly. She uses it for everything from schoolwork to connecting with friends to exploring her creative interests. Do you have an object that feels like an extension of your mind, Brian?
That's a tough one. Maybe my phone. It's always with me, and I use it for so many things throughout the day.
That makes sense. Okay, let's hear about Sasha's second object. It's freshly brewed coffee.
Ah, coffee, the fuel that keeps so many of us going. I have to admit, I'm a big coffee drinker myself. What about you, Lucy? Are you a coffee person?
Oh, absolutely. I can't imagine starting my day without a cup of freshly brewed coffee.
Me neither. And Sasha says, the smell of freshly brewed coffee is the best part of my morning. I have to agree. There's something so comforting and invigorating about that aroma.
It's like an instant mood booster. That first sip can really help you clear your head and face the day.
Okay, clear your head. That's another one of those phrases that we use all the time, but what does it actually mean?
It means to relax and get rid of any stress or worries that might be clouding your mind.
Like hitting the reset button. Sometimes all you need is a few moments of peace and quiet to clear your head and refocus. Okay, what about Sasha's third object?
Her third object is running shoes, and her reason is stay active.
Stay active. So she's a runner.
She is. She loves running and finds it to be a great way to stay healthy and clear her head.
I can definitely see that. Exercise can be such a great stress reliever.
Yeah.
Okay, Lucy, let's move on to our third me and three objects participant, Brady.
All right, Brady, what did you choose?
Let's hear it, Brady. What objects represent you?
Brady's first object is paints. He says they allow him to express myself.
Paints. I love that choice. It's so creative and expressive.
It is. And when he says express myself, he means to communicate his thoughts, emotions, and ideas through art.
I see. So for Brady, painting is more than just a hobby. It's a way for him to connect with the world and share his unique perspective.
Exactly. He even says, painting is how I express myself when words aren't enough. How about you, Brian? How do you express yourself?
Well, I love to write. It's always been a way for me to process my thoughts and emotions and to share my stories with others.
That's wonderful. Okay, let's move on to Brady's second object. He chose music.
Music. Another great choice. I can't imagine my life without music. What's Brady's reason for choosing music?
He says it inspires me.
Inspires me. I can definitely relate to that. Music has this incredible power to uplift us, motivate us, and spark our creativity.
Absolutely. And for Brady, music is more than just entertainment. It's a source of inspiration for his art.
I see. So it's like a catalyst for his creative process. Okay, Lucy, what about Brady's third object?
His third object is his backpack. He says he chose it because he can carry essentials.
Carry essentials. Okay, so he's a practical guy.
He is, and he always makes sure to have his essentials with him, whether he's going to class, hiking in the mountains, or just hanging out with friends.
I see. So his backpack represents his preparedness and his ability to adapt to different situations. Okay, Lucy, let's meet our final me in three objects participant, Jordan.
All right, Jordan, tell us about your choices.
What objects did you pick and why?
Jordan's first object is a journal. He says he uses it to process emotions.
Process emotions. That's so important, isn't it? We all need healthy ways to deal with our feelings.
Absolutely. And for Jordan, writing in his journal is a way for him to understand and work through his emotions.
It's like a form of self-therapy. Okay, what about Jordan's second object?
His second object is his bicycle, and his reason is freedom and adventure.
Freedom and adventure. I love that. It's about exploring the world and pushing your boundaries.
Exactly. And Jordan finds that cycling gives him a sense of liberation and excitement.
I can definitely see that. There's something so exhilarating about riding a bike, feeling the wind in your hair, and just enjoying the ride.
Absolutely. Okay, Brian, what about Jordan's third object choice?
What is it, Jordan? What's your final object and why did you choose it?
Jordan's third object is tea leaves. He says they're eco-friendly and represent a daily ritual.
Eco-friendly. That's a word we hear a lot these days. And it's great to see that Jordan is environmentally conscious. And what about the daily ritual part?
Well, for Jordan, making and drinking tea is a daily ritual that helps him relax and focus. It's a moment of mindfulness in his busy day.
I love that. It's a reminder that even simple activities can be incredibly meaningful.
Exactly. Okay, Brian, we've met all 4 of our Me and 3 Objects participants, and we've learned some great vocabulary along the way.
We have. I'm really enjoying getting to know these people through their object choices.
Me too. And now that we've built up our vocabulary, it's time to dive a little deeper into their stories.
It's going for me. What's next on our Me and 3 Objects adventure?
Well, Brian, it's time for our second activity, reading aloud. We're going to hear from Julio, Sasha, Brady, and Jordan in their own words.
I can't wait. Let's do it.
All right, Brian, you ready to hear these stories in their own words?
Definitely, Lucy. Let's dive into their world.
All right, I'll start us off. We'll take turns reading aloud each person's passage, and for those listening, try to connect their stories back to the vocabulary we just discussed.
Sounds like fun. Whose story are we starting with?
Let's begin with Julio. First, I chose a photo of Figaro, my cat, because he's very important to me. I live alone right now, so it is good to see a friendly face when I come home. Remember Figaro, Brian? That friendly face?
Yeah, it's such a sweet detail.
I love animals, especially cats. In the photo, he sits on the sofa with me. He often sits with me, and we watch movies together.
I can just picture them cuddled up on the couch. All right, my turn to read. I study at a college in the U.S. now, but I'm from Mexico. That's why I also chose Mexican food. I love spicy food, and I often cook a big meal and invite all my friends over for dinner. It's great to get together with friends, and when I taste the food, I remember my friends and family back home.
The power of food and memories, right?
Definitely. Okay, Lucy, you read the last part.
Okay. I chose some movie tickets because I work at a local movie theater on the weekends. I am working on a degree in film studies, so movies are a really important part of my life. Some people say I watch too many movies, but I do not agree. I want to be a movie director, and I learn something new from every movie I watch.
Ambitious and passionate. Love it. Okay, up next is Sasha. First, I chose my laptop because it's the tool I use the most in my daily life. I'm always working on assignments, connecting with friends, or exploring creative ideas on it. It feels like an extension of my mind sometimes. I feel that, Sasha.
Right. Laptops are pretty essential these days. What's next?
I also chose coffee because I can't start my day without it. The smell of freshly brewed coffee makes me feel awake and ready to tackle anything. Plus, it's a great excuse to take a break and have meaningful conversations with people.
That's so true. I'm much more of a morning person with my coffee.
Same here. Okay, last part for Sasha.
Finally, my running shoes are a huge part of who I am. Running helps me clear my head, stay active, and focus on my goals. Whether it's a quick jog through the park or training for a marathon, my shoes remind me to keep moving forward literally and figuratively.
Nice. Okay, Brian, your turn again. Let's hear from Brady.
All right, Brady, what do you have to say?
First, I chose my paints because they represent my passion for art. Painting helps me express things I can't always put into words. My walls are covered with colors and images that show how I see the world.
Wow, a true artist. I love that visual.
Next, I chose music because it inspires me every day. Whether I'm listening to my favorite bands or playing a little guitar, music fuels my creativity. I often lose track of time while working on art with music playing in the background. Music really can make time disappear, can't it? Especially when you're in that creative flow.
Definitely. Okay, last bit from Brady. Lastly, my backpack is an important part of my life. It goes everywhere with me, classes, hikes, or weekend trips. It carries not only my books and supplies, but also all the little things that keep me grounded no matter where I am.
That's so interesting how something as simple as a backpack can hold so much meaning. Okay, Lucy, Jordan's story is all yours.
All right. First, I chose my journal because it holds my thoughts, ideas, and dreams. Writing helps me process my emotions and reflect on what's happening in my life. It's like having a conversation with myself on paper.
Journaling can be so therapeutic, can't it?
For sure. Okay, carrying on. Next, I chose my bicycle because it represents freedom and adventure. I love exploring new trails and feeling the wind as I ride. It's also my favorite way to commute. It's fun, eco-friendly, and keeps me in shape.
What a great way to get around.
And finally, I chose tea leaves because making and drinking tea is a ritual I cherish. The process of steeping tea calms me down and reminds me to slow down and enjoy the present moment. It's more than just a drink. It's a daily act of mindfulness for me.
Such a peaceful image. Okay, Lucy, we've heard all their stories. What's next?
Time to put your listening skills to the test, Brian.
Ooh, I'm up for the challenge. What do we have to do?
It's called Complete the Missing Objects and Reasons, Brian. Basically, we have this table with some gaps, right, about each person's objects and their reasons, and we're going to take turns filling those in based on what we remember from the readings.
This is like a little memory game.
Exactly. Let's see who is paying attention.
Game on.
Okay, I'll start with you. Looking at our table, Julio's first object and reason are complete. Photo of his cat and friendly face. But his second object is missing. We know the reason is that it reminds him of his home country. What object did Julio choose, Brian?
Let me think. It was something about his heritage and food. Oh, I remember. It was spicy food. He chose spicy food because it reminds him of Mexico.
That's right. You got it. Okay, your turn to try and stump me. What about Julio's third object? We know it connects to his love for film, and his reason is learns from every movie. What's the missing object?
Let me see if I can make this one tricky. It has to be something related to his passion for movies and the fact that he wants to be a director.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What is it, Lizzie?
Oh, this one's easy. It's movie tickets because he learns something new from every movie he sees and he works at a movie theater.
Right, you are. You're good at this. Okay, let's move on to Sasha. Looking at her row, we see her first object is laptop, but the reason is missing. What do you think it is, Lucy?
Okay, laptop. And the reason is missing. I remember her saying something about it being like an essential part of her life.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. It's extension of her mind because she uses her laptop for everything.
That's it. Okay, your turn. What's Sasha's second object? We only have the reason for this one. Helps her tackle anything.
Helps her tackle anything. Okay, I'm picturing Sasha in my mind, and I remember she was really enthusiastic about her morning routine. Ah, I know. It's freshly brewed coffee. That first cup of coffee gets her going.
Exactly. You're 2 for 2. Now let's move on to Brady. His first object is missing, but we know the reason is expresses his emotions, and it's something related to his artistic side. What did he choose, Lucy?
Expresses his emotions. Something artistic. All right, I'm thinking back to his story, and I remember him talking about how art allows him to say things he can't always put into words, so it must be paints.
You nailed it. Okay, your turn to guess Brady's second object. The reason is inspires him.
Inspires him. Okay, let me think. Brady is creative, and he's passionate about art. I remember him saying something about losing track of time when he's working on his art. I know what it is. It's music.
That's right. Music is his muse. Okay, last one for Brady. His third object is a mystery, but we know the reason is keeps him grounded. What do you think it is?
Keeps him grounded. That's an interesting one. I remember Brady talking about something that goes everywhere with him and holds all his important stuff. I got it. It's his backpack.
Yes, you're on a roll. All right, let's finish strong with Jordan. His first object is journal, but we need the reason. What do you think it is, Lucy?
Okay, journal. And the reason is, let me see. I remember Jordan talking about how writing helps him work through his feelings and make sense of things. So the reason must be process emotions.
Spot on. Now, what's Jordan's second object? The only clue we have is that it represents freedom and adventure.
Freedom and adventure. That definitely sounds like Jordan. He was all about exploring new places and pushing his limits. Oh, I know, it's his bicycle. He talked about how much he loves writing and how it gives him that sense of freedom.
Absolutely. Okay, last challenge. Jordan's third object is missing, but the reason is brings mindfulness. What could it be?
Brings mindfulness. Okay, what did Jordan say about mindfulness? I'm racking my brain here. Oh, I remember. He talked about this one activity that helps him slow down and appreciate the moment. It's tea leaves. Making and drinking tea is his mindfulness ritual.
You got it. We did it, Lucy. We successfully completed the missing objects and reasons activity.
We make a pretty good team, Ryan.
We do. And I'm curious about our listeners. What objects would they choose for their own me and 3 objects presentations? What stories would their objects tell?
That's a great question. We encourage everyone listening to think about their own 3 objects and share them with us in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories and see what objects hold special meaning for you.
And remember, it's not just about the objects themselves. It's about the language we use to describe them. So use this as an opportunity to practice your English communication skills and have some fun with it.
Exactly. So until next time, keep exploring those everyday objects and the stories they tell. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep those creative sparks flying.
Happy learning, everyone!